Alright, today's topic is how to make feeders for track power for cattles. So what we start out with are these joiners that anybody with cattle is familiar with. They join the track together and there's no power, and what we end up with at the end are these guys. And so we have chose black and red because that's what I use. I chose 6-inch lengths because for this project I'm only going through an inch of foam, and that leaves me 5 inches to tie into a main bus. But as I was doing this, I found there are a couple little tricks that you should be aware of. So first thing is, in order to do all this, I created a little soldering jig. I just took a regular saw, a hand saw, and a couple of strokes and a little bit of filing, and you'll see what that's for in a second. But when you look at these little guys, they're held in with a little bit of a metal tab that sticks out into the plastic. So you need something sharp. This will work, a pin will work, and gently press in the side, and sometimes one side works better than the other, and then it should just pop out. So double check in there, and it just pops out like that. So there's the joiner part where it comes apart, where the rail goes in, and that's the back of it. So the back's where we're going to solder to, and it goes into my little jig. So I just put it in there, snug it in. Now the other thing to note in here is when we put this back is there's a little cross brace there and there. So you only have this amount of workspace for soldering the wire in. If you get it too far and it hits the little tab, then you have to file it off or it rides too high. Okay, so we'll do that one. Do one more here. As I say, they really do pop out quite easily. And then it just slides into my jig. Put a little dab of flux on the bottom of each of these. That's all it takes. I have some wire that my hookup wire I picked up from Radio Shack, and it's is it 24 gauge or 22? I can't even remember what it is now. Anyway, it's pretty standard hookup wire. I measure off a 6-inch piece, and I'll snip that off. Do the same with my black. I don't think you have to have a close-up of me snipping wire. That's pretty basic stuff. Then you want to strip the end. A pair of these for stripping, and again you want just a little bit stripped off. Do it a couple of times and you'll get a feeling for how much a little bit is. But you can see on there it really is just a little bit. Now when I heat this with the iron, it'll shrink back a tiny bit further. The next thing I do is I coat these with flux, and I find the easiest way is I pick up my tin of flux and I just dip it in like that. Have my solder wire sitting here, have a clean soldering iron, put some solder on it, and then just run it around a bit. That'll tin that. I did the second one a little more because it would melt back a little. Now the next thing I do is, because this is quite thick in here, the insulation, so I do a 90-degree bend, or maybe 80-degree. Like that. Like that. Then when I do that, the reason is so that it's flat along there. Otherwise, the insulation causes the wire to stick up too far. So now that I've done that, we'll grab the soldering iron again, get a little solder on it, go over here where I've tinned. These are where I've put some flux on. I've already tinned it. Sorry, I'm tinning now. And then I put the wire on. Just bending it so I can get a better grip on it. There we go. It's that one. Now we'll do the red one. A little more solder than that on it. There we go. Takes next to no time to cool down. Take a look at that. Yeah, I can touch that now. Straighten the wire out. Put it in, back in again. And just, wire isn't bent quite enough. I rebend that. Click, click, and it goes, and it's in nice and firm. There's that one done. Slide this guy out. Make sure that the insulation and wire is bent enough to get through that little plastic piece that I mentioned, which is right there. Slide that through. Pull the whole thing through. And snap it in. And that snaps in. So again, it's in nice and firm, and there's another set of feeder wires. So to go from those two guys to those two guys, then I'll drop these, tie them into my bus, and you do them up really fast. So as you get used to it, you can virtually do every piece of track, although that's going overboard. I tend to do about every 3 feet or so. So every yard. That's it. Thanks for watching.